And that nigga did it how I always wanted to do it, and I'll never be able to do it like that.
You know where you are, right? You understand what you're looking at right now, okay? It's 9 o'clock. It's a Wednesday. You ain't got nothing to do in the first place. You might as well get your ass on in here, talk some wrestling, and talk some shit with your boys from Hot Take Wrestling. That is right. We're here. We're here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Joe Freeline, a.k.a. I am the champ, a.k.a. welcome to the episode of Hot Take Wrestling, a.k.a. Mr. Imaginary Soapbox, a.k.a. Why would you say that? That's me, ladies and gentlemen. I am not high right now. I will be when this edible kicks in the next 45 minutes. Yes, I do strongly indulge in the natural element. No one judge me. Next person I'm going to introduce is a man that wears a Salmon shirt and is very familiar with all kinds of whiskeys and all types of things. His life is better than yours, and he knows it. Talk to him, KG, baby!
Not sure why I'm wearing pink on this episode, considering I was definitely not the Ken they want to cast in the Barbie movie.
Did you see that movie?
I saw the beginning of it.
Well,
head on.
Okay, so is it good or no?
I just saw the beginning. I heard it's good though. I don't know.
Okay,
it's got Margot in it, man. You can't go wrong with Margot.
I think Margot Robbie is overrated.
Excuse me.
I'll take a good Scarlett Johansson every day of the week before I take Margot Robbie. I'm not gonna lie.
Scarlett is yesterday's news.
No, she's not. You're late to the party.
No,
Sorry, you're late. You're late to the party. Margot Robbie is pretty fire, and you need to acknowledge that. And I'm not going to introduce you until you acknowledge it.
Said Margot was at fire. What are you talking?
Oh, I'm sorry, Scarlett Johansson.
That edible kicking in already.
Yep, I was wrong. No, I was wrong. Scarlett Johansson.
You were right.
No. Okay, you know what? Fine.
Right.
All right. Well, you know what? You don't get
kicking in already.
You don't get an epic intro. Boom. The people in Louisiana.
You know what? I make my own epic intro. We're here.
What you need? Yes,
sir.
Lantern for that, bro. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
All right, welcome to another episode of Hot Take Wrestling. That's all I got for you.
All right. I apologize if anyone was on Instagram and waiting for us to show up. It is taking forever to do the broadcast at this point. But
can we apologize to him on Twitch for last week as well?
I will also apologize for Twitch last week as well. I have just now shown the brothers how to do it and get them on here. We have our usual. It's good to see you guys. It's always good to see you guys. We love to hear from you guys and have you guys on. Appreciate you guys immensely for holding it down for me while I was on the rehearsal. Shout out to No Chill with Phil. Thank you for all his contributions. I really appreciate you guys doing so well. Now, what we are doing tonight, gentlemen, is going to be segmented and will be led properly by such great things. For example, our one and only the other KG is going to be involved in such things, and it's going to be beautiful. Big bro, don't say a word. I have to introduce you. This is now going to be a weekly recap. Video KG. KG, talk to us about what happened this week, baby.
A lot's happened this week. We got a big time debut, which we all knew was going to happen at the Royal Rumble. You know, Miss Jade Cargill. Storm is coming. I do appreciate the fact that they didn't even touch her theme that much. It's just a little revamped. Sounds very, very much similar like what she had in AEW. Nia was cleaning house in the Rumble. Nobody got killed that I know of. Yeah, that was a pot shot. Yeah, came down. Liv came back. Crowd popped well for that. Yeah, the women had way more surprises. Can't forget about the Glow, obviously. I was a little surprised they brought her in that early, but she had a great showing. So I'm wondering if she possibly could. You know, the rumor going around, picture was going around social media that certain Mercedes and her could go back to the titles they never lost. This Kabuki Warriors at WrestleMania. That's another thing going around, circling around right now. We've getting rumors of who Seth's replacement. Unfortunately, boy, the Punk of Chicago. Yeah, he tore his triceps in the Rumble. That sucked. Drew McIntyre is the best version we've gotten of him probably ever. So it's a shame that he's probably going to be somewhere in the mid card. I don't know what they're going to do with him for Mania. Could always do a triple threat, but the rumor is Gunther is in line to face Seth now. So that's a big thing going around. I'd be excited for that. I don't think any of us been crazy about the double champion thing, but I would not be mad if Gunther walks away with both, only because they really don't have anyone lined up, and you don't want to hurt his momentum too much going into Mania. But at the same time, Elimination Chamber is in Australia, so that's a thing that they have to plan for that. So maybe you get something where Gunther's protected, you know, because if he loses in the chamber, he could start the chamber and be in the last final two, basically. Also in the men's Rumble, seeds are planted clearly. The Usos both starting off. I was like, all right, that was a dope move right there, because I didn't expect that. I mean, we knew there was going to be a confrontation, obviously. That was bound to happen. The Tribal Chief retained. I didn't get a chance to put my prediction in there. I was MIA last Wednesday, so sorry about that, Hot Take fans. I was definitely picking Roman. It's sometimes when it's the obvious isn't going to happen. I mean, when they go the obvious route, sometimes it's the okay route to go, because I know Logan wanted a potential Cody and Randy feud. I think we could still get there because Mr. Rhodes back-to-back won that Rumble. So we know he's going after Roman's title. They could do that segment with Seth on Monday, which was interesting. But I think that was more so a thing for Seth, because he knew he lost 3 times to Cody clean.
Yep.
So in that aspect, you know, he kind of has to throw his name in the hat. Yeah, come after my title. He still has something to prove, which makes sense. We got Logan Paul retaining. I think everybody saw that coming. They weren't going to take that title off him right now. So nothing wrong with that. It still is a crime that KO has not won a singles championship in 7 years, which is ironically the last title he won was the U.S. Championship when he was shooting AJ. I'm thinking we got a lot to look forward to. We got Swerve. They just announced that tonight. You know, him and Hangman, because Hangman called him out, said, "You never beat me by yourself." You know, now they're going one-on-one next week. The winner's going on to face the Noah Joe AEW Revolution. I think it's his Swerve's time. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, I know. I'm not holding my breath. TKO.
See what you did there, buddy.
So, yeah. Tony Storm's still killing it in AEW. Like I said, the only reason I won't give her, in my own mind, gimmick of the year, it started a little too late, but I can still see why she would get that. Deonna Purrazzo, this would be a hell of a match coming up once we get to that. Tag titles, they just announced that. It's coming up. Darby and Sting, which is ironically, didn't we say that on Hot Take? They never lost a tag match. Not saying I want them to win. It's just if they're gonna go by a ranking system, this is like a long time coming for them to have a single or a tag team title match. That's to say to me that they've never lost as a tag team. Them team of almost 3 years off and on.
Yeah.
So certain things are making sense. I don't think they'll win it because then it's like, how do you get the Sting's retirement match? You put the titles on them just to retire in a little bit over a month. I don't think that makes sense. I mean, what else could we say? Was it Nick Nemeth debuted in Impact?
Yeah.
They're back to being TNA. Sorry.
That was pretty awesome. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, because I think he's needed to be revamped for a while, because he was hotter than fish grease in 2015, and they dropped, or the tail end of 2014 when he started getting white hot in WWE. He was a sole survivor. And granted, we knew that spot was supposed to go to Roman had he not been injured. Yeah. But the point is, Ziggler was super over. Then all of a sudden it just, said, you know what, we're not going to do anything with you anymore. And I could see why somebody who was breaking their neck to make everybody look good too, to hit the point that he became that person they would use when guys came up from NXT, or just whatever they needed him to be, a jack of all trades in a sense. So that's good that he's finally getting a potential chance to be that guy that he could have been in WWE potentially. Not saying necessarily long term, but even to have that opportunity again, that's cool to see, because Ziggler was one of my favorites for a while. Trying to think if I missed anything else.
I think that was pretty much it.
That was it. Outside of Bailey.
I should have, that was my pick. I was 1 for 2 in terms of the Rumble, because we all did Rumble picks.
Mm-hmm.
And we know who she's going after. And I don't need Hugger Bailey. She can keep this theme, but I'm just hoping she gets a proper babyface run this time around, because she got her legs cut from under her, unfortunately. Wasn't her fault. Glad to see Sami came back. Now, I'm just trying to think what you do with some of these people, because some of these people are just so over. It's just like, what can you possibly do with them at Mania? They could always go, and that's not a bad spot for them in the middle of night 1 or night 2. They could just go Drew and Sami, because I'm thinking they're going to culminate that, because even though they've had matches on Raw, we've seen people feud before on TV, and they still do it, and I wouldn't be mad at that, because it gives them both a good enough spot for Mania, because otherwise the only other thing they could do, and I wouldn't be mad at this, so maybe there's no tag titles on the line. We notice how Drew's been doing a lot of Sheamus's moves lately. He's been doing 10 beats of the battering, the airway crash, aka white noise, right? Maybe we get Sheamus and how serious is Sheamus' injury though? I don't want to speculate and not be up to par.
That part I don't know.
Because I was saying maybe you get Drew and Sheamus versus KO and Sami.
You get a new bar?
Yeah, revamped.
Okay.
What else did I miss? There was a little bit over a week ago. It took them long enough. Pete Dunne's back.
That took them a nice little while. Didn't we get Butch for about 2 years?
Give or take, because they were to the point where they were heels for about almost a year, and then tag titles. Unfortunately, DIY came up short. I think I missed that on the recap. I didn't expect them to do a title change on Raw, but I think we're getting that, though. I think that's going to be awesome. Truth's spot. It's going to be a slow build where Truth finally accepts the Judgment Day doesn't want him in the group, and maybe we get that at Mania. Priest and Balor against Awesome Truth. Doing a slow build towards that.
I'm not too crazy about that one. I mean, I know Awesome Truth is it's buzzing again. It was things in the early 2000s or mid 2000s that was like what could have been. You know what I mean? But with the tag teams that are there that deserve to be like true tag team champions, like I that's where I personally would like to see things going forward, especially at WrestleMania. If you're gonna take the tag titles off of Priest and Balor, put it back on an actual tag team.
I could see that argument. I just think you also want a team that's kind of over enough, and it's not gonna be a straight up singles match or a singles tag match. It could be a multi-team match because you still have New Day feuding with Imperium, so it could be a fatal 4-way. So maybe New Day gets the titles. I don't know.
New Day's they're going to revamp New Day. So they already did like this video package of them. They're going to revamp them into like probably the New Day of old when they were like assholes and they beat up John Cena. Like that's probably what they're going to end up doing with New Day.
And it's
the video package.
So long overdue.
It's overdue.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. Like it's been a long process.
Well, because my thing is, if they were never going to, and I hate harping on the past because nothing you could do about it. Just as a fan, from a perspective of they broke the record initially. Eventually, the Usos broke it. But if you think about it, it's insane that neither one of those tag teams ever main evented a pay-per-view. And we've seen tag team title matches close pay-per-views. Unfortunately, I guess it doesn't matter when BKM's son-in-law is not the one half of the tag champions. Because I think that's the last time a tag title match main evented a premium live event or a pay-per-view. It was DX versus Jericho, I believe. At TLC, was it 2009? I could be fact-checked on that, but I believe that's the last time a tag title match was the main event.
That's why, for me, when it came to the tag title...
Oh, no, sorry, WrestleMania.
Yeah. that's why, for me, like, when it came to women's tag titles, too, like, I've kept, and it's been, like, a reoccurring thing I've said, like, before that, let's utilize those titles on all three shows, man. Like, let's have them be defended. I mean, they unified the women tag titles with the WWE, with the main event tag titles. I wouldn't be mad if they did that with the men NXT titles with the main roster titles, and you just have them just, whoever those champions are, they appear, whatever, they don't have to appear on all shows all 3 weeks, but kind of do like what Dirty Dom did. You saw Dirty Dom on everything. He was on fire. Like, everybody, and he's probably an unsung hero from this year's Rumble. Like, he got hella interaction from the fans. Yeah. He was in the Rumble for a nice long while. Nice placement of him in there. Like, King of the Black Robe said it when we were making picks of, like, Men of the Year a few weeks ago. And Dirty Dom is definitely there. And who could have said, back when he first, made his was it Raw or SmackDown he debuted on? Raw. I mean, SmackDown.
No, it was Raw because it was SummerSlam against Seth Rollins.
Okay. So who would have knew back then that, okay, fast forward to now, he would be in this space where he's one of the more utilized talents that they got current day?
I think that what they're doing right now is trying to put it in a good direction. I know for Raw, for example, like DIY versus Judgment Day was the time for them to lose titles. And I think that was a time for Judgment Day to implode, but Triple H is doing a slow burn. Dom he should be Wrestler of the Year, in my opinion, because in terms of WWE, he's been one of the most consistent ones besides Cody and Seth. On every single show, like you said, Old Man Logan gets a reaction, and people react to him, and he's built it up to the point where, like, even against Braun Breaker, somehow, like, Braun Breaker, who was once booed as NXT champion, now coming back, we're like, oh yeah, Braun Breaker, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of that revamp, because of those things that changed. So I think that he's definitely in the running for that, and I think that's vitally important to have him in the mix of all those things as well.
Yeah, it's WWE is in a great space, man, going into WrestleMania. They got it's a good problem. They have all of this vast talent, even with, and this is just me, I could be completely wrong here, but I think the CM Punk tricep thing is a work.
I agree.
I think it's a complete work. This is their way of making us think, okay, he's not going to see that title match at all, which I was thinking anyway. Steph's WWE, if he's healthy enough to be at Mania to defend, I was thinking his match was going to have to be a multi-man title defense, because I don't think to this point he's had one. I think everything's been one-on-one. So I could see in fantasy booking, maybe night one, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, maybe versus a Gunther. If not Gunther, you could throw Shinsuke maybe in there, because Shinsuke's been placed nicely on Raw for a while now. Priest has that briefcase, so he doesn't necessarily need to be in a title match. Or you could go Sammy. I could see a fatal four-way for the Raw Men's Championship taking place at Mania. Like, that's how good of a problem they have with the talent, which is where you get to a storyline where it's like, because I watched that Rumble and I'm like, I know, these injuries happen on the dime, like on a whim. Like you can't
Right.
really point out where it happens. But the areas where people were saying, oh, this is where the CM Punk injury happened. Like CM Punk didn't touch that arm at all the entire match.
He
So
did I think
just-
they said he did like a push up, and he seemed to be fine. But then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh well, I don't know." Now he got to the back. He was like, "I don't know." But and when he did that push up, it looked like it was because normally when you tear your tricep like off the bone, there you can tell because you can't really move that arm in the first place. But
right, they say it like rolls up, right?
yeah.
So like when back at what we're gonna rewind, I guess when Triple H tore his, it wasn't the same injury, but he tore it on his leg, right?
He tore his quad.
He tore his quad, and he said it like rolled up.
Right.
I can't remember if he finished the match or not, but
he did. But I don't know. I don't think he took the pinfall because it happened when he was trying to do a pedigree on the commentator's table. But he did finish it. I just think I just can't remember who took the pinfall loss. It might have been him or maybe Austin tapped. I can't remember. I remember they both. I remember it was against Jericho and Benoit. So that means either somebody tapped out to the crossface more than likely with a lion tamer.
Yeah.
But so it couldn't have been him tapping out to the lion tamer. Definitely, we had his torn quad. So.
Right. I just bring that up because I'm like it was kind of visible. Okay, that like he had like a limp, like you could tell. Versus with CM Punk, like he was off of the screen for a second, but once he was back on screen, he was back on screen.
Yeah, when he was off screen for a little bit, like even they had like a little action with him and Cody, and Cody's looking at him like, "You good?" I just did a push up. And he's like, "I don't know." You know what I'm saying? Like because once you tear it, like I tore my hamstring, and once you tear it, you feel like the actual like rip.
Yeah.
But then like the actual like function of the muscle is just vastly different, and it doesn't feel like it just feel like you're on something at that point. So once he tore it, whatever he tore it on, or however he tore it is neither here nor there. Like I don't know what the significance of it all is, but I do think it's a work because why would you have Drew McIntyre on Raw stomp that thing out? And why would you have him do a kayfabe work on his social media?
And the E's been great at that lately, where we be thinking one thing and it's a complete other. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I literally reported last week. There's no way that Cody Rhodes is going to finish the story at WrestleMania. Sports Illustrated said it was going to said that Triple H said that directly out of his mouth, and all of a sudden he went into Royal Rumble. So, bro, at this point you have a good problem because now you don't know anything that you know. They've literally made podcasters like us and people that speculate on things look foolish to where they can change every aspect of what's going to happen or what's going to go on. Like at this point, we don't know what's going to happen with anything at WrestleMania. We can only speculate, which is a good thing because it makes it all exciting at the same time.
I think we do know, but I think the thing was the reason I didn't pick Cody went back to back, not because it would have been boring, because we've seen it before. It's more along the lines of because they've had guys switching shows at the drop of a dime. That's why I assumed Cody wasn't winning again. I always said Cody and Roman was going to happen. I think, was there ever a time to back my mind when Rock cut that promo? Maybe, but also if it's for the championship, we know who's going to win. At least now that's open-ended. That's what my whole thought process was. And if they can hold off Rock and Cena, I don't care how much Roman is killing it personality-wise and gimmick-wise, even though some of it's getting a little stale to me. They held that off for a year, and Cena was prime Cena. If they could hold that off for a year, they could wait till SummerSlam to do Rock and Roman.
I genuinely agree with that statement because Rock and Roman doesn't need to happen. Doesn't need to happen at WrestleMania. It doesn't. It's just not necessary.
It will be they will be forcing it if it happened right now. Like, and that's the complete opposite of what they need to do because again, it's a good problem. You know what I'm saying? To have all of the talent that you got. Like, I saw a lot of people on the hot take page that were kind of bashing the men's rumble, saying it wasn't any surprises. And I'm like, dude, look at all the talent you have, like, and you still missed some people. Like,
go ahead, Logan.
Gable wasn't in it. Like Chad was on fire earlier, not just too long ago, maybe last quarter. That match he had against Gunther, yeah, that put him on a lot of people's radar that wasn't paying attention prior. Like, those two were like glaringly, you know what I mean? Like, why aren't they in it? And it's like, yo, we don't need to see all these old people. Like, I like the idea of Jordan Grace popping up, you know what I mean, in the women rumble. Like that was something. It was like, yeah, that's how we do that. That's how we make women wrestling across the board important. She's it wasn't like it was just a random TNA women's roster member. This was their champion. And they gave her a sizable amount of time in the rumble. Now, they was petty. They didn't let her get no eliminations. But at least we got to see Jordan Grace in there with a Bianca for a second, in there with a Bailey for a second, with a Becky, with a Jade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the complaint stems from the fact that, like, for example, isn't Josh Alexander their world champion, or is Moose right now?
It's Moose.
Moose.
Okay, but even so, like, he took the title of Josh Alexander, or am I wrong on that part?
Josh Alexander lost it a while ago. He had an injury. No, he didn't. He didn't lose it. He
beat the dude from Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay, Alex Shelley.
Yeah, he was the champion, I think. And if I'm wrong, someone tell me in the comments that I'm wrong.
No, I was just getting from a standpoint that maybe I think the aspect was like, why aren't we getting a Moose or something like that? I still see what Logan is saying, but we did get Andrade, so that was not a guarantee. I mean, that was a nice surprise.
I'm gonna say something that it's gonna be really messed up to say. Jordan Grace was a part of the Four Horsewomen in 2020 that was either competitive or as good as the whole Four Horsewomen in WWE. The Four Horsewomen in TNA were Taya Valkyrie, Tessa Blanchard, Jordan Grace, Deonna Purrazzo, and they were just as good as Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Bayley. And there's no other way you can convince, because if you watch TNA television as much as you watch WWE television, or if you only watch it sparingly, whatever, you would see that those girls were just as good.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but I will say also, how much is WWE holding people back? Like, look at Bryan Danielson's matches in AEW. Are they letting them wrestle the style that they're allowed to wrestle in TNA too, though?
I'll give you that, because Jordan Grace looked like she looked like she was at another gear in that match at Royal Rumble. And I think that's one of the reasons why the women's Royal Rumble was so good. She literally looked like she was going 120 to 140 in control. A controlled 120, 140. You know what I mean?
So the thing I'm saying is, I'll co-sign that, but I think more in line too, though, when they gave her that chance, I don't think they were micromanaging her, but I'm seeing back then, VKM and his whole band of goons were still heavily involved with creative 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think we were seeing with the handcuffs off. I don't think we saw the Four Horsemen with WWE ever with their handcuffs off. The closest we probably saw was that last women's standing match at Evolution with Charlotte and Becky, because they gave them 30 minutes to cook.
I agree.
And then obviously, but that wasn't him. And then, Bayley and Sasha's whole series of matches down in NXT, but that you can't say that either, though, because that was Trips. Vince had no imprint on that. So not 9 years ago, I guess. Yeah, that's insane.
I agree. I think the narrative of how they created this whole aspect of how it was set up is like, with Jordan Grace being there now, it shows that there's a possible forbidden door. It shows there's a possible thing that Triple H doesn't believe in the forbidden door in the first place.
Yeah.
But what I really enjoyed about the whole, for example, the women's Royal Rumble, it to me is better than the men's Royal Rumble, and it's simply put because not the surprises, not the actual the crossover with TNA. It was more so based off the fact that the only thing we have to complain about with the women's Royal Rumble is that number 30 was
who's Liv
Morgan.
I don't know if that was a complaint, though.
Yeah, and that really is. Yeah, and I agree. That's really not a complaint. But that's the low point of some people's aspect of the women's Royal Rumble, which honestly is kind of just like, come on, bro. Like
They're grasping at straws with me from a standpoint that Liv is a former
women's champion.
Yep. Former tag team champion.
Yep.
She gets a great reaction most of the time she goes out there.
Yeah.
She's probably one of the most improved wrestlers they have on the roster, man or woman, over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
And also, you didn't want to put Jade in that spot because if Jade wasn't going to win, you at least give her enough time in there where she has interactions with wrestlers like a Nia Jax, like a Becky Lynch, like the standoff she had with Bianca Belair. You're not going to have time to do all that. She comes in at 30.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do something that's going to make Kenny G007, which I like the name of today, by the way, make him happy. It is reported that one Nia Jax got a little too rough with Ivy Nile. So
I'm going to try to keep us on a positive note. What's up, man?
Yep. said that she was a little too rough, little too handle her a little too, a little small thing like threw her a little too hard. You can actually see it in the Rumble. My thing is that Ivy Nile is complaining. Apparently, it was some executives in the back saying she's a little too rough with one Ivy Nile. If I really go back and look at that match and watch it, I think it was just Nia being Nia, and I mean that like
it was.
That way. Yeah,
it was, and they just didn't want her to get to injure anybody. That's all.
Yeah.
Uno momento, just to make sure we're fact checking ourselves. So Moose actually defeated Alex Shelley via pinfall for the TNT World Heavyweight.
Shelley, not Riley. Sorry, Shelley. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you say I'll try. I forgot about him too, though.
That does sound like
I'm not gonna crap on you picking or anybody picking the women's Royal Rumble to be a better showing. There were some missteps for me in certain parts, like some of them. You could tell, Naomi was trying to get back used to the WWE style in a couple of those, the what do you call it, like close-ups, you know what I mean? And you could kind of see her calling some of her stuff just to kind of, critique just a small bit. But you saw all of them kind of doing it. I did love the fact that they all were trying to make sure that they were as careful as possible with each other. And you know what I mean? That they didn't have no rowdiness, which is probably why the Nia thing got singled out, because it's like, all right, everybody else is out here. We're doing spots that could potentially end in an injury, and we doing the utmost to make sure it don't happen. So we, they were just trying to keep it across the board, evenly killed. So I thought that was cool. But I thought that was also how you had the balance between the men's Rumble and the women's Rumble. It's like, all right, how do you make one stand out from the other? The beginning, the women's Rumble was the first Rumble we saw. So that one needs to be memorable. How can you make that memorable? You got to have the special guest appearances in that one. That's the very first Rumble to start off the show. You need all the, the hocus pocus in that particular Rumble.
Yeah.
That's how we end up with the Jordan Grace. That's how we end up, with Jade making her first appearance. But fast forward to the men's Rumble. A lot of people are saying Braun was the Brock replacement, and I don't think that is true. I think Andrade was the Brock replacement. I think Braun was going to be a part of it anyway, because Braun is getting ready to make his ascension up to either Raw or SmackDown after their Mania, regardless.
I thought it was cool that, granted, like I said, that it was in Florida, so that helped, but also just the wrestlers have put in the work, because I thought Carmelo and Tiffany Stratton both got pretty good reactions.
They did.
When they came out. So she had a good spot when she first came in, doing the somersault or the swanton, should I say, onto everybody in the ring. They seemed they were happy to see him and her. Like I said, the only thing else they could have done was potentially, because I don't know who's out there and what their working relationships are with said companies, and maybe the guys just didn't want to do the spots too, though. In the Rumble, get one of those spots from another wrestler if they know, because sometimes it seems like the guys. They don't spotlight them a lot when you get these guest appearances. If that makes sense, I feel like the women have been spotlighted better when they come in as outside talents, and it could not even be on trips in them. Maybe Moose or maybe somebody in TNA said no, or maybe they're not, having a relationship with some of the Mexican promotions, for example, because we know they don't have a relationship with the Japan promotions. That maybe the women, because Stardom is a women's company, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying maybe they might be okay with them, but I mean, it's just who you really gonna get. It would be nice to see some other people in there, but I think their hands are tight. And like Logan was getting to, I don't want to see all these dudes that probably should not be in there if they're at that age. There's not a lot of people available.
Yeah.
Who are still sort of free agents where you could use them in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because RVD is still occasionally popping up in AEW, but I don't know what his situation is. It would be cool to see an RVD in a Rumble. Yeah,
I think that. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that like for like Moose, Alex Shelley, especially Alex Shelley, who's been in the game for a while, is great. But like national fame is Moose, Josh Alexander. You got Will Ospreay there, which if Will Ospreay would have showed up in WWE at the Rumble, all hell would have broke loose. Like it'd have been the end of anything. My thing is with the aspect of the men's Royal Rumble itself and how it's set up and how they had it going or whatever. You made Braun look strong, which was great.
Yeah.
You actually did something where you made Dom look pretty cool too. Mm-hmm. Chad Gable has been one of your biggest attractions in your mid-card area, and he deserves to be able to be in that space. Since WrestleMania, he's literally been one of your most consistent, most over mid-carders. He has memorable moments since American Alpha. He has the finisher he did on Braun Strowman, his matches with Gunther, most of his tag matches against anybody he's been with. He's the standout. And he's not getting pushed, which is a problem.
I will say too, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just was gonna say, if it was one person on the men's side that we could have had outside of Andrade, because again, I double down on it. I think it's just too much talent there on NXT and on SmackDown and Raw to have outsiders on the men's side.
Yeah.
But if you were gonna do maybe an outside guy, his name isn't gonna ring bells like that with casual fans. But his missus was there. Why not have Jonathan Gresham pop up? I would have made that route. You know what I mean? AEW, I don't think any of those would have been likely. Not to say that, it couldn't have happened, because you got a lot of those guys getting ready, contracts to expire. And there's got to be some kind of inner working there between the two companies, because like KG pointed out, with Jade's entrance music, it's minor tweaks. It's basically the same thing. Cody came over, same thing. When Punk was over in AEW, it was minor tweaks. It wasn't as polished as the WWE version, but basically same thing with his thing. Yeah, I probably would have went Jonathan Gresham if I just had to have somebody outside of WWE appear in the men's Rumble.
Yeah, Edge's theme too.
Yeah.
But I would say the only reason we knew Ospreay wanted to get Ospreay because he officially, I think, signed with AEW. I still see what Joe was saying. Had he not signed, that would have been dope.
Yeah.
I think people were a little salty because the Salt of the Earth didn't show up, because everybody thought he was out the door. I was one of those people. No, I did, bro. I legit.
Me too, bro.
So I heard it's just he's actually injured. That's why they took him off TV.
Yeah.
So that's the report going around. That's not that.
Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
No. And by the way, Triple H, if you are like happening to watch this podcast, I don't know, randomly, get rid of your musical production team and go find the CFOs, because the music that you have for some of these new and up-and-coming acts are terrible. They were made with a Casio keyboard and a drum machine. I don't approve. It's trash. The CFOs gave us do 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 do. Boom. They gave us that. Okay. All right. CFOs gave us some of the dopest entrance music where you knew what was what. Find Josiah Williams. Find the CFOs. Get your music back, Trips. You got all the rest of your kids back. Get your musical kids back too, Trips.
You know what they could have did though? You know why some people might be upset too? If they didn't use him on commentary, that would have been a nice surprise, Pat McAfee. And actually used him in the Rumble. Like for maybe 3-4 minutes, because he's not gonna risk even though he's just got his podcast thing and everything going on. Or speaking to somebody else that commentates, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's under the weather or he had to go. They could have used Wade Barrett as a surprise entrance.
I took that.
He's early 40s at most right now. I mean, I know he's done as a wrestler, like, full anything in terms of, actively performing, but I wouldn't have been mad if Wade popped in the Rumble.
Is he still? I mean, I don't think they let Wade go. Shout out to King Cayman. He just commented. Kevin Patrick, they let him go last week. I wasn't surprised about that at all. Actually, you know what? I was kind of surprised about that because what's my man's? They put him in the back. That was on Saxton.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's about that time, man. Going on.
No.
Yeah.
No.
About that time,
I disagree. I vehemently disagree. Kevin Patrick would put dead air in epic moments.
He just wasn't ready for the big time. Like you got Pat McAfee and Michael Cole on Raw now. That's Monday Night Raw. You know what I'm saying? Like you got Corey Graves and Michael right now on SmackDown. Maybe they're gonna put Wade on SmackDown with Corey, and that'll be solid. That'll be solid for SmackDown. But Kevin Patrick is just certain you can't put them against these people or put them with somebody that's like a super duper vet like a Michael Cole and a Corey and a Wade that's just so oozing charisma on the mic. Yeah, he's gonna sound like dead air. You put anyone else up here, we sound like professionals, but I guarantee you go and you sit in that booth with them, you're gonna sound like dead air too. Until you figure out a way to get to it.
Hold on 1 second. Let me tell you who they should call. Call Mauro Ranallo. Get Mr. Mamma Mia back. Okay? I'm saying this in the best ASMR voice that I possibly can, calmly, because you need him back. Okay? Not a lot of times you get a commentator that will actually have his own chant. Mamma Mia was an actual chant. Okay.
See, but they were taking Corey Graves' side of it, and it was not a good situation for him because I don't know if he didn't realize what's a work and what's not. I don't know. I agree with you though wholeheartedly. That's the best commentator that's the best play man they've had since JR, and I'll stick by that. Yeah. Or I'll say since Joey Styles, because Joey Styles was there too. Yeah, in between that time.
If TK was on his business, that's who he should have been given a call. Mauro.
But I think JBL gave Mauro a bad taste of the business. Like I think JBL was such a goddamn bully that it was just like, well, I want to go back somewhere else.
Dinosaur, and he was a VKM transplant. Like, let's just call it what it was. Like, that's why. And not to say JBL wasn't good in commentary, but Vince is a bully, and Vince is gonna have bullies with him. Like, so yeah,
KG does a better JBL than JBL does. Like he's like, if we give KG a couple whiskeys right now and tell him to do freaking JBL, he'll do way better than he'll do. Look at him, Michael. Like he'll do all that. Like JBL was an okay commentator. He was okay at best. Okay, he's not. These guys that you have on here, Corey Graves, good, keep him, great. Wade Barrett, good, keep him. The guy at NXT, good. Do not move him from NXT. You keep him right there where he is with him and Booker. They make magic.
I was just gonna ask you, if you do bring Morrow back, do you put him on NXT or do you put him on Raw or SmackDown?
SmackDown. And the reason why and the reason why you put him on SmackDown is because Mauro Ranallo was part of the Black and Gold brand because of how like he made those matches what they were. That Johnny Gargano match with Adam Cole, best 2 out of 3 falls. The ladder match for the North American title. Mauro Ranallo makes those matches. He makes those matches. If you really want to change the narrative of your brand, Michael Cole's going to be Michael Cole. He's at the last 5-6 years, he's been better than JR. Period. In AEW, he's been better than JR in AEW. End quote. Period.
Hold on. Wait.
Not ever. The last 5 or 6 years, he's been better than JR at AEW. Is what I'm saying.
Well, that's not a fair comparison, bro. Like JR at this point in juncture in his career is an attraction. It's not primetime JR. We can't do that, bro. We can't.
Oh my God! Listen, no, bro. I'm not gonna do this. Bro. They gave him a contract to do matches. He has not called a great match yet. If anything, Excalibur
they set him up for failure.
Excalibur, you have Excalibur. You don't need JR. You have Taz, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone. You don't need JR.
There we go. Tony Schiavone. I'll let you get that off with Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone with this comparison, but JR, come on, bro. We know this ain't.
That's why I gave the cap. Listen, JR from the Attitude Era into the Ruthless Aggression Era was fucking great. I'm not comparing that JR. He was in his bag. That man has family.
I'll let you compare that Ruthless Aggression JR to Michael Cole right now. Because I'm not taking nothing away from Michael Cole right now. Because Michael Cole has been on fire.
Just that version of JR.
Yep. I'll let you do that one.
Michael Cole's better. He's better.
KG, what you say? You kind of quiet on it. What you say, man?
The last 4 or 5 years, yeah. Because JR be forgetting some of the wrestlers' names. And I get he's getting older. And we forget names too all the time. This ain't the same JR we grew up on, man.
And that's why I said I can't let him do the comparison.
Well, no, but he's not. I don't think he's saying we're getting the best of JR. I think he's just pointing out that.
No, he wasn't saying the best, but I'm just saying
in
terms of right now. We know JR, he can't do it in this era. I'm sorry. If he was in WWE, maybe, because he knows that style. It's not going to be 1,000 moves that are internet darling moves that he's not familiar with. That's why I say Tony Khan did not set that man up for success. He's an attraction commentator. He's who you put on commentary for pay-per-views. The same thing I said years ago when we very first started this. JR is somebody who's supposed to be used at pay-per-views. He's not somebody we're supposed to see weekly anymore if you're going to utilize him in that capacity because he's an attraction now. It's just kind of like how any other people used to come. Jerry Lawler. You come bring it to the wrestlers. Roddy Piper come make an appearance. You know it's an attraction. We know Roddy Piper not going for the title no time soon. God bless the dead. You'll see a Psycho Sid appearance randomly. We know what that is. That's an attraction thing.
Yeah. I'm only saying that. I'm only saying that like if you have to have Excalibur and then Michael Cole's edging him out. And it ain't by much. Mm-hmm. So when I'm saying that, it ain't by much. Because Excalibur calls like the match he called with KO and Bryan Danielson. I'm not KO. Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson. Chef's kiss. So that's what I'm like that aspect of it all is really what I mean in terms of that. Because Michael Cole, he's gotten so much better.
He's got it.
When he first started, you were like, and then after a while, you're like, but now he's in that bag. And you know, Randy Orton back, vintage Orton. Like it's
yeah.
So,
bro, I'll go as far as to say You remember when Michael Cole used to wear the little jean shirt? I liked Michael Cole back then. Like I've always liked Michael Cole. I've never thought he was just terrible. Has there been exponential growth? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But Excalibur's great. Excalibur represents that style of wrestling that's in AEW. And that was the point when I was saying that about JR. Like, you have to have commentary that caters to what you're presenting to the world that's watching on television. Excalibur represents that. JR represents a time in wrestling that wrestling doesn't represent. So it's if money on the table, money on the table. It's on you to take it. Right. And JR probably felt like, I get why WWE didn't bring me back, but at the same time, I feel like I still got a little left in the tank. And if you ever listen to JR podcast, you know what I'm saying? Not to make it a Debbie Downer moment, but the guy's lost his wife. He's looking for things to do. He's like that old cowboy in the cowboy film that's out for their last run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's about setting that person up for success, not putting them there. He should have never been there in the booth weekly.
Yeah. I think that I agree with that. Let's move on. Here we go. Heated round table, ladies and gentlemen. This is basically where Hot Take Wrestling gets into a debate about certain things and certain aspects of what's going on in the wrestling world. Now, I've had this discussion multiple times over, and I've even had this discussion with KG because, I like debating with KG because he makes you think. All right, WrestleMania is coming up. 'Tis the season for WrestleMania. Do we think that if Roman Reigns loses his title, he is gone for good? And what stars can the WWE utilize to still create and build their brand at a higher level? So first question is, Roman Reigns gone for good if he loses his title? When I mean for good, like at least a couple months, 8 months, because rumor is his illness is back. It's affecting his work. It's affecting his body. And if he does lose the title to Cody, what should future plans be for him? Like, who should be booked against, that type of thing.
This is the first I'm hearing about the illness thing. I'm out of the loop, and that sucks to hear that. I'm not going to wish that on anyone, let alone someone who, just his purpose is pretty much well-liked backstage. It's not like, even if he wasn't, you know what I mean? I'm not obviously rude, just trying to word this correctly because I hate to hear that. If that's a false statement, like I said, eventually maybe he goes away for a little while, and then we get Rock and Roman. That's where I see that going, because he really doesn't have too many other people to feud with, honestly. That's the only route I can see them going, is he goes away and they start that build around SummerSlam, maybe around June or July. Long term, if you're talking about just another full-time wrestler, I mean, he's due for a face turn. So outside of that, trying to think of someone that lines up for him. I mean, we all know that eventually Paul Heyman's probably going to find a new Paul Heyman guy. They already planted the seeds. This is starting very high up on the card, but this is Hot Take Wrestling. Maybe Braun Breaker is a Roman feud down the line after Paul turns on him.
I wouldn't mind that at all if you give me intense Braun Breaker. I think the WWE is in good hands without Roman, and I mean that with the utmost respect. Because now Triple H gets to do this. All right. Nothing that Vince created is still here. Everything that I have is mine to go with. Like, and if I'm him, I'm creating. I don't want to redo the black and gold brand. I want to create something of my own narrative, of my own fruition. I do think that if Cody becomes champion, Damian Priest is going to cash in on him. And if he cashes in on Cody, we might end up getting heel Cody, which is actually way better than face Cody. if that's the case, and what happens from here, I think what happens after this WrestleMania is going to change the spectrum of everything. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys watched NXT. I think Trick Williams realized that Ilya Dragunov did something that he wasn't supposed to do. I think that Tiffany Stratton is going to be moved up to Raw. I think that if they decide to do anything with the tag team titles, that they're going to put it on a legitimate tag team, and then they have to unify them and create one tag team title that can go from place to place to place. So NXT, Raw, SmackDown, whatever they're going to do. I also think that the women's division is going to be so deep now that you're going to have issues where that mid-card title NXT is going to be a big deal. Huge deal for the women's division. But I think that if Roman leaves, he shouldn't turn face because we've done that. But whatever happens after that is going to be good. I don't think that WWE will fall in the least bit because once Trips is in charge of creative and he's having an aspect with his ear to the actual streets about what wrestling is right now and how his house is going, it'll be fine. It'll be all right. It'll be good.
Well, he not to be the face that caters to the crowd. It could be a Kevin Owens thing in terms of his personality. Kevin Owens has not really changed who he is. If you think about it, he just doesn't take shots at the fans.
No.
Like he did as a heel. If you think about it, you don't ever see Kevin Owens saying, hey, Cincinnati or whatever, yada, yada. You want to see that he doesn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
LA Knight with his catchphrase he does, but like he's not out there being the lame go sucker and succotash, and they've never had him do any of that. I don't need to see him go anywhere near to where he was before, but I do think he kind of due for a face turn after all this.
Yeah, I don't want him to go back to the chest protector role. That's right.
No, exactly.
The vest is coming. No, I'm just kidding.
No, chest protector Roman is so. Chest protector Roman is only time chest protector Roman was amazing was against Braun Strowman, and that was it.
No.
Yes.
Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley.
I'm not giving you that. Braun Strowman.
I'm gonna be hating on the Bobby and the Roman feud, man. That was cool.
I'm not hating on it, bro. It wasn't a lasting. It existed. It happened. It wasn't a moment in time.
It happened before he was the Almighty. That was the problem. That was the other thing with the men's Rumble too. Like they were building storylines with the Rumble. Like you got the thing with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus AOP and what's his name? Damn.
Karrion Kross. Final chapter and the Pride.
I hate that name. Just put me on the record. Trips. Eyes on me.
What?
The Pride.
That's their name. The Pride.
That name sucks.
No, they're called the Final Testament.
No. The Final Testament. I'm sorry, you're right. The Final Testament versus the Pride. Excuse me. Thank you, KG.
Oh, wait. Who's they're called the what?
The Pride. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Why weren't they just named Hurt Business 2.0 beyond me?
What is
or the Almighty Profits?
They never.
They
could have just kept them as Hurt Business because if you remember, we all remember when DX, when Sean left, they got revamped. They didn't say DX 2.0. They were just still DX.
I'm just saying 2.0, just saying to be this is the second iteration, but no.
No. I think they could have just been. I hear what you're saying. I'm saying they could have just did Hurt Business.
Yeah, it should have just been Hurt Business. Like why it had to be rebranded beyond me. That name sucks, Trips. I'm sorry. This is one of the first strikes I have against you, brother, since you've been just fully.
It could have been Almighty Profits.
Almighty Profits.
Boom.
Almighty Business. At this point, it's a bad name.
It's a bad. I mean,
they could always revamp them. We've seen that before because even though it was because of X-rated reasons. You remember what Paige and ironically Paige and Becky and Charlotte are called
What were they?
Submission sorority.
Submission sorority.
I forgot about that.
Also, speaking of the Profits, did y'all know that they only kept it for a cup of coffee? But did you know that was Naomi, Tasha, and Tamina's theme, the Street Profits? Just without words. When they were Unity or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't
bring this without the words. That's what I'm telling him. Bring back Josiah Williams and CFOs. You need it. You need it. You need it, and you know
Josiah can spit over people's instrumentals. You wouldn't even think that rap goes on.
Yeah,
he came out with Adam Coulter in his rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that man back, and don't be too proud. And you still call him. You might as well call Josiah. Hey, bro, slide on me. And you know who else you know who else need to call? Top Dollar. Top Dollar made Jimmy Uso's song, but then they made Jimmy Uso go back in the studio and do everything that Top Dollar did for his song. So honestly, it was produced by Top Dollar, but they're like, no, we can't give him the credit. He's like, he's like, I didn't even want the credit for it. I just want y'all to put my name on it, and y'all can have it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Top Dollar, CFOs, Josiah Williams, get that stuff going. You'll be all right, Trips, because these themes are terrible. They're terrible.
Well, Top got to stop trying to wrestle first, and then he could just focus on them.
No, bro, he was going through a lot during that time. He lost a lot of weight with himself, and then there was like a lot going on, turmoil in the back. Even a lot of people are going through, like, this is the time when people are like exposing themselves with the WWE experience. Matt Riddle was on a podcast. It was like, I knew I was getting released. I knew it was going to happen. He's like, I was just wondering when they were going to figure out when they were going to release me, because I knew I was due for getting released. And they just kept keeping me, and that would surprise me. Top Dollar has said so much about how they were supposed to give these guys 15 to 20 minute moments that turned to 2 and 5. How when they moved up, they're supposed to move up Swerve and do a whole bunch of other stuff and everything else, and he found he had diabetes, and they cut a lot of stuff and a whole bunch of things, bro. So
yeah. As a brother that battles with with diabetes, I get that. That's why I've been trying to do what I can to get myself together. You know what I mean, my health wise. But you ain't gonna see me trying to jump on the top ropes no time soon neither. You know what I mean?
Bro, he was struggling, bro. He's going through a lot.
But I'm just saying, brother, we have to know how to accentuate what accentuating pieces, like, and that just ain't for you, Top Dollar. But that music and being a voice and being a host, like, he got that down packed. Like, he's one of those people that I could see him on a commentary, team one day. Like, I'm not saying don't go and try. Like, you there, so shit, do your thing. Excuse me for cursing, but I just think the background is where he's going to rise as a star, because he has that part that the other, like, Adonis and Randy and Swerve had it. So Swerve was just like, okay, I'm making them better, being a collective, which is how that works. But I digress, man. Let me talk about Big Roman leaving right quick before we leave that topic. I don't think it'll be forever. I do think Roman. I also don't think Roman will be full time no more after this either. And you really can't ask a man to be full time after being champion for three years.
Well, to me, he ain't really been full time in 2 years though.
Year and a half.
Well,
he started.
He has sat under the tree of Brock Lesnar since he's been champion these last 2 years. I'll give you that.
I see what you're saying. Though. He ain't going back to being full time though.
Yeah. No. That's over. Roman is going to be an attraction. Roman is the replacement. He's the Brock Lesnar replacement.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. Like, he's the Brock Lesnar.
I think this set up with all. I'll just finish. Go ahead.
So Hollywood calling. I don't know, but when my cousin owns $7 Productions, and he's been in superhero movies and past 18 and, he got his own stuff going on. Yeah, I know Hollywood is at my beck and call when I'm ready for that, you know. But I hope the illness is not returned. That's something that's, very prevalent, and his health above all is what matters. That man is a husband, he's a father. And, if that is what's taking place, then God bless him. God bless his family. And go do what you got to do, brother, to survive for them. Damn fans, just to jump on my soapbox for a second. But I hope it ain't that. That was the first time I heard it when Joe said it. So, but I pray it isn't that. I don't wish that on nobody.
It's a very quiet. It's quietly kept. So it's not even one of those things where he's saying it or anybody else saying it. It's more so people looking at, literally looking at him and how his body has changed from when he came back to where it is now, and his face 3 years later.
No, so in terms of, are they have people who could potentially replace Roman? Yes. Because the thing is, in terms of, a lot of people don't know this. I don't know if that ended up averaging out towards the end of their career, but everyone, they make the GOAT argument for Cena, yada yada. Okay, I even argued for him only because of his longevity and what he did with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, for one. But for the wrestling business, they were, I don't know how fashionable it was, they said WWE's made more money when Randy Orton's been champion.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true or not. I really don't. But
I can believe it, because
it's hard to say who could replace who. Obviously, they're closer than anybody in terms of, being interchangeable than anybody being interchangeable with Roman. They really don't have a single person, probably, as far as I would know. But I also have to look into that to be factual about that in terms of what he means for the company in terms of being a draw. But in terms of who can slide in and be the top heel of the company, they have one person arguably already ready. They probably have the most complete wrestler in either WWE or AEW right now, Gunther.
Yeah.
Maybe Bryan Danielson. But, I mean, it's more than just wrestling, but because he's actually, I think he's doing pretty good on the mic right now. Gunther.
He's actually,
I never really looked at him as a talker.
Nope. It's surprising because he's actually, you would think that he would, that would be oh, he can wrestle, but he's struggling. No, he can do both.
Yeah.
He can do both. And he's getting better and better each time he gets on the mic. I am concerned with the heels that are in WWE right now because there's few and far between. You take out Gunther and Imperium, Judgment Day. You don't got no. Well, now,
Yeah, no, I mean, it had something just happened spur of the moment, but I mean, it's been a slow build, is what I'm saying with the Drew thing.
Yeah.
I think you kind of got to put him in that conversation as well.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of great ones. No, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
No, there's that the babyface pool is a lot deeper. If that makes sense, because you got Jay, Cody, Punk, Sammy, KO. Yeah. Jimmy's been killing it though. This man's hilarious. He ain't even supposed to be being funny, but
Jimmy in the Royal Rumble is one of the most underrated things that no one is talking about. Jimmy in that Royal Rumble literally was and was getting beat up. And at the last seventh time no one shook his hand and he got kicked in the face. He slammed the mat. Jimmy! Bro, he built different. He built different.
Can we
also don't know what...
Can we talk about Jimmy and Naomi coming in at number 2?
That's funny.
Oh, that was cute. It's so cute. So cute.
Bring my baby back.
It's so cute. Oh my God. Speaking of Bay, Women Crush Wednesday goes to Lisha Maurice. who is a cosplayer, a streamer, and also makes wrestling content as well. This young lady is on TikTok as the above, and she's also on Instagram as well. She is also on Twitch and has a podcast called Let's Talk Real Talk. All right. I strongly suggest you guys go follow that. Again, follow this young lady. She's amazing. She's fantastic. She does a lot of great things. Now, it is time for a segment created by one No Chill with Phil, ladies and gentlemen. And it's called Hot Take
After Dark.
Yes. Hot Take After Dark, ladies and gentlemen. It's exciting. It's a time where we get to be able to kind of shoot the shit and say some things that maybe are off the cuff. And we have to have these conversations because, wrestling's a serious thing. But then again, no, it's not. Okay? No, it's not. I just want to say one thing. And I'm going to get out the way. And if I'm judged for it, fine. Y'all can judge me. I don't care. I'm all right with being judged at this point for all this stuff. Number one, Nia Jax is fine. That's it. That's all I got. I'm not going to say anything else. She's fine. If you don't think she's good looking, you're a liar. I don't believe anything you say.
All righty. So, to you, I pose the question, sir. Is there not anyone on any roster, be it another young lady from the WWE or NXT roster, any brand you choose, or AEW, or New Japan Pro Wrestling, that you may find more attractive?
That is a loaded question, and I will not answer it.
You know why you want to answer?
Why is that?
Because it is.
First off, I want everyone to give Nia Jax her flowers now. All right? No. I give her now look, that girl's pretty. She's gorgeous.
I never said she wasn't.
Yep, she's gorgeous. She's beautiful. Okay. All right. Now I'm sick of y'all saying Nia Jax, she's valid. Yes, she is. But she's also gorgeous. And shouts out to Io Sky because she's gonna lose her title at WrestleMania to Bayley. Very sad. I'm just gonna watch it because they're both gonna be in the ring. It's gonna be awesome.
No, I'm not sad. It's actually a good thing. I'm sorry, Io. It's gonna seem like I'm taking a boo-boo on you, and I'm not. Pause.
Okay. Yeah, we VKM already got accused of doing
that. That's why I said pause. That's why I called myself.
Yeah.
Io. Io. Your title reign has been very dismal, sweetheart, and I'm sorry. Your NXT run was great. Great matches down there as champion. You was doing your damn thing. But yeah, no. The women's SmackDown title needs a do-over. And if Bayley is the one to be your successor and become new women's champion, they'll put some respect on that title name again. I'm not looking for Bayley to become the hugger again. I'm hoping she'll have a Y2J-esque run where she's neither face nor heel, but somewhere in between, that good old middle space known as a tweener, where she can still get the ding-dong hellos off, but also cater to the fans.
All right, here we go. Quick question.
Yep.
Hugger Bayley, role model Bayley, or this alliteration of Bayley? Which one? Okay, here we go.
You ain't got to finish it, bro.
No, wait. Okay, MFK, Hugger Bayley, role model Bayley, this alliteration of Bayley. MFK, go.
Role model.
Okay, what are you doing? Are you marrying? Are you killing? Are you?
Hold on, Mary. What's MLK?
MFK.
Murder, marry, kill. Or
no,
murder.
MFK.
No.
Mary F. Kill.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah.
Okay.
MFK.
Mary Hugger.
You messing the
Mary Hugger.
Oh no.
Oh, I see what you did. Okay.
Yeah,
so
Mary Kill.
Yeah. So
Mary
he said Hugger.
That's what threw me off.
So he said Hugger. I'm sorry. So three alliterations of Bailey. Mary, Cuck, Kill.
Mary Hugger.
Mary the Hugger.
F, the role model.
F the role model.
We got the same answer.
Kill, current iteration.
It's the way you switch the letters. I knew you
knew
because you did it. You did it.
Came and he threw me off there for a second.
Is it FMK?
No, but
It's
you said two M's.
M-D.
You said two M's. That's why I was like Mary murdered.
Yeah, I messed up.
You said
Yeah.
It's Mary fuck kill, guys. Excuse me.
Yeah.
those of you guys who know.
MFK.
Okay.
I had the same answer as Logan.
Same? Okay. I am going to marry this alliteration of Bailey. Because I don't know if you saw the Beyonce concert thing that I put in the story that one time when she was at the Beyonce concert. I am going to F Hugger Bailey. I feel like she's there. And then I'm going to destroy the role model Bailey.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there was a point in time where Hugger Bailey was very
Huggery.
She was huggery.
This is a PG podcast.
This is a PG podcast. Without one, no chill with Phil. We gotta, we can rate it a bit more, so we not scaring people off with Double M 1999. So we're just doing it from there. I changed his hashtag from the goodness to MMM99. All right, here we go. Oh man, good time.
But
all right,
that segment is going to be money. Hey, whenever he can't be here, this is just a little peek behind the curtain. People that's listening, we have to have him record that, and we just play that part.
Just that part. All right, guys. If you have a social media, which I all know you do, follow us on TikTok at Hot Take Wrestling, Instagram at Hot Take Wrestling, Twitter at Wrestling Take, Twitch at Hot Take Wrestling Podcast, YouTube at NMG TV Network. These are the contributors to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. Myself, Ill Will, Ken Gardner, Old Man Logan, No Chill with Phil. We have been in business for a while now, guys. The next episode is going to have all of us on it again, and you'll get the same thing. You'll get the same segments. You'll get your weekly recap. You'll get your heated roundtable. You will also get your hot takes after dark. You know why? Because segments are here to stay. We do have some guest spots coming up, and those interviews will probably pop up on a Thursday. Nothing in the works as of yet, but they will come up soon. Guys, give me your last thought and your outro, please.
I would lay down rose petals and draw a bath at the perfect temperature for Hugger Bailey.
That's sweet.
Kind of.
That's
It's only because I'm not drinking whiskey, I guess. I don't know.
I think that was
At
really
the moment.
that was really sweet. No, that was really sweet because I feel like there's no real wrong answer to having Bailey in your life. I don't feel like there's a real wrong answer to it. I don't think there's anything.
I second that.
I mean, like out of all the four horsewomen, Bailey can get it either way. Like there's no. Yep. I have no gripes or complaints, so I second that motion.
At least she was always able to be herself in some variation of it. She wasn't asked to river dance down to the ring in her debut match.
Oh, you gotta let that go, buddy. You gotta let that go.
That's the first time I referenced this on this podcast, hasn't it?
No, I just made it. I just said it because it was a Becky thing. That's the only reason why. King Cayman. I don't agree with Sasha because her wig was never quite right. Go ahead, Logan. All you.
Her wig was not quite right.
Her wig wasn't quite.
Almost cussed you.
It wasn't quite right,
bro. His petty when it comes to Sasha, it is unmatched.
It is not, bro. It's how
the smallest thing to point out about Sasha.
Okay, bro. All right, fine. Here we go. You want me to look an asshole on our podcast? All right, fine. Sasha's wig ain't right, and she got really small, creepy midget hands that just would creep me out. That's me. That's what I said.
What?
Fine. You want me to be the bad guy? There. Do yourself a favor. Google Mercedes Monet hands, and you'll be like, ew. You'll be like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, man, Logan.
That made me think about the Burger King commercial. And it makes my hands look even tinier.
That's what it looks like, bro. It scares me because she got like stubby, like little nails. And she just. Okay, go ahead.
It's some quite attractive young ladies in the world of the WWE. I don't know which one of them are involved, so I won't say any names. But old man Logan says, "Hello, ladies." Hello, ladies.
Oh, that was a Val Venus reference. Wow, that's okay. All right, we got to get you out of here. We can't let you do this.
Just stay away from all Japanese wrestlers with swords.
Yeah. Why do I bother? I don't even know why I bother.
Kite.
I don't even know why I bother at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much. You guys have had a good night. It's been a really good time. Shouts out to King Cayman. She loves wrestling. Chrissy _Cat16, Retold Richie Mars, Spicy Guac, Jimmy Hart Creates, Aspen in Espanol, 10K.Liel, and also myself. I didn't even. Oh, and Josh Lifts as well. You guys all hopped on the live. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys immensely. You guys are the best. You guys are the real heroes. Take care of yourselves. And see you next Wednesday, 9-ish p.m. Be good. Bye.
He said 9-ish p.m.
Yeah, I was going to say 9 p.m. and like in the minute. I'm 9-ish p.m.